Call this meeting to order, determine there's a quorum present. We have Commissioner Wardlaw, Co-Wardlaw, Commissioner Juan Vasquez, Commissioner Fernando Garcia, Commissioner Gus Flores, and myself. We have a quorum. If y'all will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Vasquez, please serve to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On honor of the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all so much. We're gonna go to number 5, approving and the minutes move. And a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. If y'all don't mind, we had a lot of birthdays, the end of last month, this month. So we're gonna take care of that right now. We're gonna sing happy birthday. I didn't put it on the agenda, but I think we'll be okay. We'll do it under judge's comments. When we go to sing happy birthday, when we go to mention the names, if y'all will give me a little brief moment to name everybody's name, okay? Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Garcia, Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez, Juanita. If y'all will, it's your birthday, right, on the 4th? Yes, you will please come up. I know you're in a meeting, but, yeah, if y'all will come up. And, well, I'm already up here. Come on up. And y'all will come up. Y'all will bring the cakes, put them in front of us, and we're gonna sing happy birthday to him. You make it, Sheriff, you're in a wheelchair. I couldn't resist. Commissioner Vasquez, you want to please stand? We're gonna sing happy birthday to him. I'm gonna get it started. Here we go. When we go to say the names, I'll just give us a minute and I'll mention everybody's name, all right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Vasquez, Eric Rodriguez, Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez, Juanita Barreras, and myself. Happy birthday to you. And thank y'all so much. Happy birthday. And when you're wondering, how come we're a little bit dysfunctional? The majority of us are cancer, so. Yeah, it's just not a good thing. Then we'll cut cake. We're gonna recess here for just a minute, and go out and get a picture, with the vehicle, some of the vehicles that the sheriff brought, through Operation Lone Star, Enterprise. Sheriff's Department and Matt have been working real hard through Enterprise trying to get those vehicles over the last 3 years brought in. We've had a little bit of trouble, hail damage, this damage, that damage, outfitted, not outfitted. But I guess over the course of the last 6 months, everything sort of fell in place with Operation Lone Star. Thank you to the state. The money that the county set aside, and I think over 14 vehicles. About 14 vehicles would have been brought in between Enterprise and Operation Lone Star.
That is correct.
Okay. So we're going to go outside, take a quick picture. We're going to recess, be right back, go get a picture with the court. If y'all will come out and join us, we'll be right back. Okay. Thank y'all. And they're right here on Mill. There we go. We're back in session. It's 9:10. Thank y'all, everybody, for y'all's patience. Item 6, citizens' comments. We have none. Ms. West showed up right now, so I know she's a busy individual. We're gonna move to item 15 and 16. That way she can get on with her day. Item 15, discussion possible action request Commissioners Court approval to increase salaries with SB 22. Basically the same thing that we've done last year too, and what we've already done.
Motion to approve, yes.
Okay, have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Garcia. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 16, discussion possible action requesting Commissioners Court approval to switch investigators to be paid from one budget to another. That was in your packet. Basically, it's not costing the county any money, that she's just moving positions and funds on how to pay those positions. Motion, Commissioner Flores. Second. Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. You're good, Ms. West. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Have a great day. Be careful. Walking out. Item 7, no action needed. Item 8, discussion possible action approval on a resolution on the HAVA grant. There was one little change on some wording on the HAVA. Basically, we approved to go out for this, but they needed a resolution. The resolution's in there, and then we'll be able
Motion
to.
approved, Judge.
Judge, I'll second that for discussion. What is the total dollar amount that we're going out for?
It's $60-some odd thousand what we're going out for. Don't know how much we're gonna get. They said somewhere 42,
Is there a
45.
match to this?
If everything works out, we would get the 60-some odd thousand. It's a 20% match of that. But we've been told 42, 45 maybe is what we'd end up getting. We can match it with Chapter 19 funds, which is a 20% match with that. And then the difference between that and what Ms. Chapoy actually needs would have to come back to the court and we pay for that.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll work.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? You need that signed right now, or you sign it just before we leave?
That'd be good if we could, if we could get it today.
Okay. Do you have that? You want to sign the one that's in our packet? Do you have
In
it?
the packet? I have one.
If you have it,
I have one.
okay, if y'all don't mind, we'll sign it now. That way they can put, then go input it. Is that correct?
Yes, it's due on the 30th.
Okay, now we'll get it done right now.
That's all it came out.
That was it. That was not good. You got a pen? You got another one, the right one? Oh. Thank you, sir. Oh, you gotta stamp it, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Thank y'all. Item 9, discuss the possible action renewing a local agreement with 911 public
Motion to
safety.
approve, Judge. This is with, Middle Rio Grande?
Middle Rio Grande. Mhm.
I would second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Do you need it signed? Or yes? Okay. Okay.
There are 2 copies, Judge, that he needs.
You want to stamp these and get them to him, or just give them to him? You just want them? I can get you one back for the
You
record.
still need yours signed, right?
I need both signs.
They're both signed.
Oh, they're both signed.
God bless you. Have a good day.
Oh, this one, this copy.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 2 there.
Yeah, there's total 2 copies. We get them signed by the BD and then we'll send you guys.
Well, I signed my name and I signed the other person too.
Sorry.
Sure.
You need it stamped also?
Here you go.
You stamp it after?
After the other one, yeah, when it gets back, right?
We good?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Item 10, discussion possible action paying overtime to individuals working on the remodeling the tax office. We are going to redo shelving, workstations at the tax office, July 4th, well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I would like permission to be able to pay them their,
Doing the remodeling, Judge.
it'll be coordinated, through Loli, and the people that will actually be doing the work are, building maintenance and IT. IT already had
Motion to
permission.
approve,
to-
Judge.
Okay.
I'll second that.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. And the reason we came back, for the overtime is that when they work like this, it's really difficult because then for every hour they work, they take an hour and a half off. And it cuts into it cuts into their regular days. Right? This way, building maintenance and everybody just ain't getting backed up with the regular work. We took a vote. Item 11, discussion possible action on certification required by the CEO and head of law enforcement agency. There is a packet in your, there is information in your packet. Basically, it's for the sheriff's office.
Motion approved, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez and Commissioner Wardlaw. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 12, discussing possible action on the use of the old Bravo camp at the SE Ranch by the National
Motion
Guard.
to approve, Judge. They will, run, city water all the way up?
We are going to, what I need is if y'all will give me permission to visit with them. I told them that I didn't really want to start visiting and having a conversation with them until I had permission from the court. That will be an option that we will explore.
And what's their goal, Judge? What are they?
The people that were here before, the state guard that were using it, these here are going to be the National Guard. They're based out of Wisconsin. And when you ask me what their goal is, don't know. Did not get a mission statement.
What do they do for water there, Judge?
What they did in the past, they hauled the water and they hauled water in and hauled wastewater out. What I told them this time was, if there'd have been better lines of communication, the amount of money that the state spent out there, they could have run the water line, and then it would have been cheaper. This time, what Commissioner Flores just brought up, we're going to ask if part of this process be that they run the water line from where the dump's at. It's about 12,000 linear feet to the camp. This would also serve, if this gets run, this would also serve and help the city with resiliency and redundancy with the base, because now we'd have another line that we could go to the base with and then loop it.
How about the road system? Is there anything to deal with there on the roads?
They won't be doing anything to the roads, because when they come straight off of the overpass or straight off of SF 79, they go straight into the camp. And it's all fenced off. So it isn't like they're gonna roam the property. 47 acres, is what's there. The other individuals, we were out there on Monday, and the amount of money that was spent out there and the quality of work was really unbelievable, because the pads are still holding up.
And, porta potties?
No, they hauled all their wastewater off. Literally, they have bladders out there that the wastewater goes into, and then they haul everything off. The showers, restrooms, the cafeterias that they set up, everything that produces wastewater, they will haul off.
Judge, the water extension would be a great thing to happen in that area. Maybe, you might wanna consider talking to them about installing a septic system for future use of that property for
And
whatever might come up.
we had this conversation with this individual last week, both the water and the wastewater, again, they weren't real clear. And like I told them before we got into a lengthy conversation, I needed permission from the court to be able to begin the process.
And across the highway from this location, somewhat at an angle, is my warehouse with no water. Here, folks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this would help, and not only that, the base always says that they want another water line. And this would be the capability to offer the base another water line once this is all done also. The city is working on, before they say, well, we're trying to add stuff and we don't have no water. The city has a plan that they're working on water for another water well. And they've already done a couple of other studies of, I'll go ahead and say it, I have confidence in them with what I heard in the last 2 weeks. Not in council, but in actual just one-on-one, that they've got a plan in place, and some of the information that we were presented before because of the water studies, maybe a lot of that information probably wasn't right, but the new studies, they look really promising. So it isn't like we're just gonna jump off, create another problem for the city. It would be one that they're looking at another water line to go through SE Ranch anyway. This would facilitate that. We gave a motion. Well, we didn't give a motion.
I did.
Did you? Commissioner Flores? Second. Commissioner Wardlaw? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 13, if y'all don't mind, table that before we come back. A motion, Commissioner Vasquez.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor, table? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. Table item 13. Item 14, discussion of possible action to appoint an individual to appraisal district. The court had appointed Mr. Randall Disler at the point that he became judge. He turned in his resignation, cannot serve, so that position is open. Commissioner Vasquez.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to approve Mr. Bobby Hernandez to the appraisal district board.
Bobby
Second
Hernandez.
that.
What does he do?
He's a sergeant in the Del Rio Police.
Policeman? Robert? Really? I can tell you that, there's very few people that I call, my friend, but him and one other one, yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. He's one of those, when he went into the police department, when they called to get a reference on him, he's one of those that just would stand in front of a bullet for you, would take it for you. Unbelievable individual. Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez.
A second.
Second,
A second.
Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. I think we're talking about the same body.
Yeah.
Gordito,
There you go,
Chaparrito.
sergeant, been almost 30 years now.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there.
But that, he's better known as Robert.
Yeah.
Robert, yeah.
We've got stories. Won't say them, but we got stories. He kept me out of a lot of trouble when we were going out. Item 17, discussion possible action to grant authority to the county attorney's office to enter into an MOU with Texas Advocacy.
Motion to approve, Judge.
You wanna wait? You wanna table it? Are they on Zoom?
They're supposed to be on Zoom now.
Okay. Are they on Zoom?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, but hopefully we can turn it up.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and speak, and then we'll get your volume up.
You work on the road? Like your city mayor? Doing it on purpose.
He said he's doing it on purpose. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear?
Yes. Testing.
Can y'all hear? A little bit? Yeah. He's cranking. All the way up. Both speakers.
All you gotta beat's the tractor, man.
There we go. You're on.
All right. Let me know when you would like me to give a little overview.
You're it. Go on.
All right. So thank you for having me. I'm Caitlin. I'm with the Texas Advocacy Project. And we've been chatting about formalizing our partnership, which would essentially create a direct referral stream to our services. So I just have 3 slides, it's very short, to just kind of go into what happens and what you can do for your community. So Texas Advocacy Project is a nonprofit organization, a nonprofit law firm specifically, and we serve survivors of all of these forms of power-based abuse. We do not have any income eligibility restrictions. I know many legal aid organizations do, which is great, but we make sure that our funding is graded with federal, state grants, and private funding, so we don't have to follow those rules, because we know that people can look like, a millionaire on paper and have no access to those funds if they're in an abusive relationship. So we don't have any income restrictions. We don't have any restrictions on if people are documented or not. And we also have attorney-client privilege, so we can good secret to say. And then also we serve the entire state of Texas. So anyone in the entire state of Texas can seek services with us. And to go into a little bit more about what services are. So we have a spectrum of legal services. One side, I would say, is like our legal line, so that is 1 hour of free legal advice. So if you were to refer someone to us, they would talk with our intake team, make sure there's not a conflict of interest, and then be scheduled in with one of our attorneys to chat. All of these services are virtual unless we are accompanying someone to court or going, actually directly representing them. We absolutely do that as well. I believe we were there just the other day. So one of our, one side of our spectrum is legal line. That's that 1 hour free legal advice. We do about 5,000 of those every year. It's really great for people who are kind of deciding what they want to do next, trying to figure out what their rights are in that process, and trying to leave, and all different kinds of things. The centers are assisted pro se programs, so this is when someone is representing themselves. We draft all of their forms for them, do, the discrete task representation side of things. We write instructions, all of the things, and this is our kind of model of how we're able to serve more people. And then we also directly represent. So if there's a chance there could be a bigger impact that this individual has, or there's so many barriers to the legal system and the justice system that they can't move forward on their own, then we will attempt as best as we can with resources that allow to directly represent them as well. And then we have an attorney and social worker model. So our attorneys, obviously we want them to be dedicated to the legal side and their legal work. And we have social workers who essentially help them move through the legal process by addressing some of those other needs that they might have, or crime victims compensation, or more referrals to other organizations in their community. So I think I've kind of gone over everything. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything.
Where would that emergency housing assistance be?
Yeah, so we used to have funding for emergency housing assistance, which was fantastic. We were able to just write checks. We currently don't have funding right now, but we're always hoping to be able to get it back. So that one I've included on there because we do also help people find housing, whether it's connecting them with organizations that have housing in their area, or other things. But it's definitely the biggest, the hardest thing in Texas right now is to find housing.
Any other questions then?
One for you, judges. Obviously, Judge, you know the report. This is going to allow our office through the protective order services we provide to victims of domestic violence. Now, with the assistance of this organization, we'll be able to streamline them when they need more assistance in protective. For example, sometimes we're going to be involved in a custody fight, in a divorce. Our office doesn't do that. However, now we've got a really reputable resource that we can refer our victims, our clients to.
And this is just gonna come out of your regular operating budget. It's not any extra money. You're still just doing your job working.
That's exactly right. This is what we do already. All we're gonna do now we have a resource that we can refer victims to our clients to when they need additional services.
I'll make a motion, Judge.
I already made a motion.
You make the motion?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. Any other discussion? The previous boards, I think, starting with Judge Allen, we started, or set back up the battered wound center, which is another resource. And then I think this court, Commissioner Flores has been the one leading the charge on that, but this court has always mentioned that we'd like at some point to get also children's shelter in place. So that would be something also to look at.
It's more services
to
the county
get the resources.
is providing. One thing I may have to ask Commissioner Flores to amend, we're still finalizing the MOU, Judge, and if I could.
So no motion?
Well, no, just to include that once we're satisfied with the language on the MOU, then give me authority to approve it and sign off on it.
I'll include that in part of the motion.
Commissioner Wardlaw?
Second.
Okay.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, have a second, Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anybody against, motion carries 5-0. Item 18, discussion possible action to approve the county clerk to extend overtime pay to staff from the records archive account. The county had already done this, once before, and all she's asking is to continue to pay them out of that same account.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. And thank you so much for the work that you've done. Your email the other day, we did 94% on the records, from the past.
They're doing a great job. They really
Thank goodness. That's great news.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Vasquez gave the motion, Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Flores seconded. All those in favor?
Don't miss
Aye,
them.
and everybody's in favor.
Don't mention the flavor.
Don't mention the flavor, let's keep it serious. Item 19, discussion possible action approved draw request number 1 under the Colonia Self-Help, contract number CSH 24-0167.
Motion to approve, Judge. What is, the dollar amount on this?
The dollar amount is $39,900, that's the dollar amount of the request is $39,923.27. All right, you have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second,
Second, Judge.
Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 20, discussion possible action to approve draw request number 13.
Motion to approve, Judge.
And this one was $19,048.20.
Second that, Judge.
Commissioner Flores, motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 21, discussion possible action on lease of state computers for the use of DMV. This will be paid from.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 22, discussion possible action on Blackcomb Pipeline approval of 26.
Motion to approve, Judge, is presented.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. And is this the pipeline?
Pipeline.
Is there a fee there on that?
Yes, there's a fee for each floating crossing, $100, and each boarding on the open car on the road, $500. So total is $3,600 for this application.
They want to tear up the road.
Huh?
They want to tear up the road
Yeah, a little bit.
for $3,600.
And if, those fees, if we wanna look at them, especially when they go to tear them up, because $500 might not be enough.
That's what I was,
And we're gonna have
I
another.
think you should bump it up more.
Road use agreement for.
So why don't we, look at the fees,
Mhm.
and then we'll figure, the width that they're going, in case we need to go back in there and fix it. But, because at the end of the day, they're supposed to be fixing it.
Yes,
In case something goes wrong, maybe we could set another fee up.
And that's in the MOU, am I right, or the lease agreement?
Yeah, we have another agreement for the road use too. And then we're gonna set up a fund for
I know that
$100,000.
in precinct 2, when they were doing the battery storage,
Yes,
we put a bigger bond on that one, right?
yes.
Okay. Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, and Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 23, discussion possible action on revision of plat, replat, vacating setback lines and.
Motion to approve, Judge.
I'll second that.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez, and Commissioner Flores. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 24, discussion possible action on change order requesting from Agate Steel, Inc. for Laughlin T1-A aircraft sunshades for rows P and Q lighting, protections system installation. It is a change order. There is funds within the grant in order to complete the change order. Both the base and Carlos have already looked at it.
Make a motion to approve, Judge.
I'll second that for discussion. What is the change order and what's the cost?
Okay, so the cost of the project that we have on Laughlin right now, the grant, we received 3.6 million. And then the contract that we have in place with Agate Steel is for 3,350,000. The change order for this is 220. So that's gonna leave us with a balance of available grant funds, like around 100,000. And we already have contingency on the project with Agate Steel, so we should be in a good position.
On motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Judge.
Who we at?
25.
Let's do this. Ernest is just here.
He's asleep.
Yeah, he is.
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go to item 35. Discussion possible action on post-tax health and employee benefit full renewal package for Plan 2526 and authorize county judge to sign them. Let's go, Mr. Weingart, y'all are up.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner. Back again?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, absolutely. So as I had mentioned in the last time I was here, for the current TAC renewal increase for the county on the current medical, the percent increase based off the loss ratio, the contributions we're collecting versus claims that we're paying out, we're going to need about 10.7% increase to pay out projected claims for this upcoming renewal. Okay, and that's with the current plan right now. So that comes out to about $72.70 per employee more for this upcoming renewal. On the dental side, it was only 64 cents increase per employee.
With what we pay, what are our losses compared to what we pay? I phrase that right.
What are your losses?
Yeah, it's 20% more, 10% more. Where are we at? I mean, in other words, when you look at what it's costing y'all to take care of us compared to what we pay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the benefit of being in the pool. Okay, I mean, we have counties who are having high loss ratio years. We're having counties that have very loss ratios.
What are the ones that are having high?
You've been having high, but that's the benefit of being in the pool. Okay, so we're not trying to. It's not that we're taking a loss. Yes, we are collecting less to pay out your claims in the pool. Okay, but that's where the value of the pool. We're able to, with the number of lives in our pool, the 50,000 lives that are in our pool. Even when you're having a bad year, if you were not in our pool, you probably received a larger increase than the 10.7%. But that's where that's the purpose of being in the pool. But I don't see it as a hit or anything like that.
By stating that us being in the pool, that means balance out with everybody else that's in the pool.
Absolutely.
We're high, but at the end of the day, we balance out.
It stables out. So the average increase for this year is a 6%. Okay, 6% for the whole pool. That's the average. Okay, without looking at this county's loss ratio, everyone in the pool starts at 6%. Then we allocate and we look at everybody individually. With the number of lives that are on your plan, which is over 300, your claims are more predictable or credible. Okay, so your claims, your loss ratio is going to have more weight towards setting your renewal than the demographic factors and the area factors that we take in consideration when setting the renewal. Okay, so with that said, so with your loss ratio, you're running over 100% loss ratio. Okay,
that's what I was trying to get to.
And it was close. The contributions that we're collecting, I do believe we're paying out almost $1 million, a little bit under $1 million, towards claims that we're not collecting enough on contributions to pay out your claims. So it's close to about, it's a little bit under $1 million that we're not collecting enough.
And I should have started with, I'm gonna apologize to y'all before I make y'all mad, because at some point during this, I'm probably gonna say stuff. It's not gonna sound good. So I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for that now, okay? But, in saying that, every other plan that we have here, every other plan that's been presented is a plan that would limit the risk to the pool. Is that correct statement?
Well, it's not just limit risk to the pool. It's just that the plans is there to, if we look at that 1,400 plan, that NG plan, you're going from a $250 deductible to a $2,000.
That's like what I'm saying. So
yes.
It limits the risk to the pool.
Yes.
And then there's certain factors in this deal, especially when you look at that plan,
And we've had this conversation.
Yes.
And I tried calling you yesterday and you answered and everything because I didn't want to blindside you. So I'm pretty good about that too. But, in this plan, our deductibles, let me give this to you. On the second page, our deductibles, one of them go from $250 to $2,000, and the other one goes from $500 to $6,000. And then when you go down in the other highlighted area, on page 2, when you go down, the next one, it says co-insurance max in and max out. One of them's $2,000. That deductible would go to $4,000, and the other one's $4,000, and it would go to $8,000. But
So when you make plan
that's my
change,
concern.
yes, sir, so when you make plan changes like this, going from 250 to a 2,000, it is very high. I would, if any, I would recommend any county, if they're thinking about making changes, simply because they need to save in money. If they need to make a budget, the question is, I always ask them why. Why do you want to change your plan? Why do you think you need to change your plan? So every county's going to be different, and they advise me, look, budget's going to be tight. This year, I think it's time we're going to try.
Where do we stand right now with our previous plan? With our present plan? I mean,
As
the
far as financial?
deductible and all that, yes.
That's what I'm saying on page.
I know,
on
but-
page 2, it's right here.
You're giving us different
This one here,
options.
it says renewal plan on page 2. Those are our deductibles that we have right now.
Yeah.
On this other plan, well, every plan's different, but at the plan down at the end, the 1,400 all the way to the right.
So when we provide,
But today, I mean, we can vote in favor or against to keep what we have right now present.
Y'all can,
It's a $200 deductible,
250, yes, sir.
y'all can,
instead of bumping up the
what we're
deductible.
doing today is to try to pick a plan.
Yes.
Matt put a presentation together also that I think we need to listen to. And again, I apologize before, because sometimes I come off rather rude.
No.
But it's hard for me. Most of our employees are under the $38,000 range. So when you go and you're used to paying $250 and now that one goes to $2,000, and you're used to paying $500 and that one goes to $6,000, that hurts. Now, I do understand that going to the other plan, there is other benefits. Your employees would be able to add children. At our county cost would go from $640 something to $808. But if you're an employee and you just want to add your kids, and there's more than one kid, it's $77 a month. But that would be an extreme benefit, right? And then if you have a spouse and kids other than one kid, if you have more than one kid, it's $600 and some, or $400 and some odd dollars. And we've had this conversation. There's still a lot, for me, a lot of unknowns. And we've had this conversation with Matt. It's, if we open that door, I go from paying $640, county goes from paying $640 something to $808. And I only have, it bounces between 23 and 29 people in that one category. But if I'm sitting out there and I'm an employee to add all my kids, if I have more than one, for $77, right? But now, as a county, how do I figure that number in? Because I could eat into that savings in a hurry, right? And again, I'm not saying anything, we ain't already had that conversation. That's one of the things that scares me. Because the plan that I'm in right now, that we're in right now, I know what it's gonna be. I can book another $297,000 more in the budget compared to last year. That's what I'm gonna pay.
Yeah.
This other one, we'd have a savings of over $300,000, but the employee's gonna pay higher deductibles. And if we set money aside in order to help pay the difference in the deductibles, with 94 people that reached their deductible, that the 250 now would have to go to 2,000. That's $100 and some odd $1,000. difference, and if we paid that, that comes, if the county was gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna help pay that, because to help the employee, that comes out to 300. And then you have 30 some odd other people, or 30 people that reach their other maximum, and there's a $2,000 to $5,500 difference there. You sort of add those together, then my savings keeps dwindling. And now, if I'm an employee and I added my kids, because now I can afford $77 a month instead of, I think there's one individual that has 3 kids, he's paying $400 some odd dollars, he goes to 77. But what the county pays goes to 808 versus the 640 something. If I get 20 or 30 people there out of the 300 and some odd employees that we have, I just ate up my savings. And it could get worse, because if I have more people that use the insurance, and I've already said that I'm gonna pay their deductibles, I could run out of money. And we've had this conversation. We might have an oh moment. We might not have an oh moment. That wasn't what I said with Matt, but we're taking a chance, and that's what scares me. It's just real hard to figure.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. That's like doing the budget right now. You're given numbers, and you're like, you're trying to guess.
There's always some unpredictable risks.
And I think yesterday you said it's a double-edged sword.
It is. It's a double-edged sword, because if money is a factor, financial, if we have some counties there running in the red, just by changing their plan, they're operating in the black. That's how much a difference that those choices they have to make. And that's the only reason why the options are there, in case if there is some savings that the county needs to look at, maybe not this year, but maybe in the future. But we do have options, and there was always a discussion.
And you would save us over 300,000.
But the other side of the sword is them paying more out of pockets.
But we would put the burden on the employees. In other words, in order to save, if we're gonna save $300,000, and the employees have to pay more deductible, and if you say, well, we're gonna turn around and we're gonna put that $300,000 in an account in order to help them with the deductible, we just paid the $300,000 before it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's correct, and when you guys are here, we'll go over more information, but yeah, when you do it done.
Well, any questions for me? The only thing I want to say, whatever the court decides to do, whatever the commercial court decides to do, regardless of what plan y'all decide, whether you stay, whether you change your plan, your high-cost claimants are still there. So what are we doing about the high-cost claimants? HR is doing a great job y'all have a wellness incentive. HR keeps providing Mark Zolich, your wellness consultant, to keep coming back for trainings and everything. But ultimately, it's the employees, the dependents that are using the health insurance with healthcare conditions. Okay, we want to try to minimize that. Hopefully, this is taxpayers' money that are paying for those high-cost claimants. So there needs to be some responsibility, in my opinion, in our opinion, some responsibility on the employees to take care of themselves. If you think about it, because if they start taking care of themselves, those high-cost claimants do start coming down.
Well, not one of the high-cost claims. I mean, between the heart doctor, the diabetes doctor, the guy that takes care of the anxiety, and my feet don't work, and ankles don't work. Yeah, well, that's me though.
Hey, and don't forget there's a wife here.
It's and when you say high cost, we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to look at our policy. And I'm gonna throw this out now, that way everybody can just get mad now. The way our insurance is, we cover your insurance until you're 65 if you're able to retire before you're 65. The county covers your insurance. I think we need to look at something that if you're here and you're hired, you're grandfathered in, you get to stay, right? But this is ridiculous when our highest claims are people that are retired. And then the county also allows, I'm going to say it, also allows spouses of the people that are retired. Those are our claims. In my opinion, if you when you got hired, that was a benefit. And that's, might have been one of the reasons that you went from yes to no.
Come to work here.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But at some point, I think this court needs to visit that if you're hired at some point in the future, if the policy changes, because it costs us. There's ways that we can save money. We also offer insurance from day one.
Right.
But
Data hire.
a lot of people don't stay, don't hang around. They get fired, they get terminated because they weren't good at their job. So that just cost us $700 to $600 for a couple of, it's just like,
Yes, sir.
we're just bleeding money.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to let you.
No. Judge, you bring up good points. A lot of counties are in a very similar situation here. They see I won't say liability, but risk of keeping their retirees on up to age 65. Some counties allow over age 65. But the only benefit over 65, Medicare pays primary, and then the county plan will pay secondary. So you're not seeing the impact from that on post-65 retirees. It's from age 55 to age 65 is where we're seeing a lot more risk of not only employees, retirees becoming ill, having a condition. Okay, so but keeping those on your plan can have a negative effect on your rates in the future.
I can tell you that on me, I mean, the last 3 years is just like everything come apart.
As we get older.
Tomorrow we got 3 doctor's appointments.
But that's where we want to change a lifestyle culture in the county, not just the county. We're talking about the state of Texas. We're talking about in the whole nation, the whole world. We need to take care of ourselves. Don't get us to a position we are going to be diabetic 5 years from now, or may have cancer 10 years from now. We need to start this, especially with the younger generation. What's being taught at schools? What is being taught in the community? I don't know, but those are the type of things that where the community can come together and preach wellness. Take care of yourself. That way, a doctor doesn't have to take care of you. That's where all the cost is coming from. Rely on self-care. Take care of yourself. But that's the thing. Nobody's really teaching us how we take care of ourselves. Yeah. The water we drink, the air we breathe, the foods that we put in our bodies. We're poisoning ourselves every day with what we put in our food. Our bodies do heal naturally. They really do. If you give them time, you stop feeding yourself, your body heals naturally. But because of our traditions, cultures, how we eat and everything, contributes to how our healthy lifestyle is. And is willing for us to change.
I'm thinking about going back to drinking because I thought about it.
Can I ask a question?
The last.
Yes, sir, please. That way I'll be quiet.
Okay, so there's reluctance to change plans because we're in a grandfathered plan, and if we lose it, we never get it back. So what is specific to Plan 600 that we would lose? And there's a Plan 600 NG, I guess non-grandfathered, for $3 difference.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between those two plans? What would we lose and what would we gain for the $3?
Good question. So it's not really what you lose or what you gain. It's the preventive services. Under the Affordable Care Act, the preventative services, whether you're on a grandfather or non-grandfather, there's preventative services that people go get to the doctor and everything. If you are grandfathered with your current grandfather plan that you have, preventative services covered at 100% after you meet your your copay, like when you go for your well visit, your annual physical, okay? That's an office copay. There's some preventative services could be subject to your deductible, which they may need to pay the $250 deductible. Under a non-grandfather plan, there is no cost sharing for preventative services. We're talking about obesity screenings, diabetes screenings, anything that the federal government has coded or deemed preventative services. The non-grandfather plan pays 100%. The employee, the dependents don't pay a copay when they go for their well visits, for their shots, or anything that's considered preventive services. There is no cost sharing to the employee. So the reason why that design is in place is to incentivize the employees and dependents to go get your preventative care services, because it's not going to cost you anything. those preventative care services, those claims are minimal compared to those claims that are subject to your deductible and the co-insurance, okay? So that's the real huge, the biggest difference between the grandfather and the non-grandfather. And as you can see, just the plan design alone, okay? Just the plan, it's $3 and something more, okay?
And just to be perfectly clear, he's looking at the page 2 that I gave y'all, it's the third row. And they're pretty much, the deductibles are the same.
Everything's the same.
The cost is a little bit more than what we'd be paying, what the renewal rate would be, but there's services that would be provided that the employee would not have to pay for.
So just to be very clear, when the Affordable Care Act came out, we were advising many of our counties to hang on to your grandfather status, simply because we didn't know, there was so much uncertainty with the Affordable Care Act. We did not know where it was going to go, if there's going to be additional costs, but now we have about over 50% of our members in our pool are non-grandfathered now. And many of the decisions that they made to go non-grandfathered a lot of it was financial. Okay, they just could not afford paying the wonderful benefit that they were paying when they were grandfathered. So a majority of those decisions were made just purely financial in order to meet their budgets. But like I said, we have the data, and now, as you can see, with that $3 difference, Commissioner, just looking at a grandfather to a non-grandfather, it's about less than 2% pricing just by moving to grandfather to non-grandfather.
Yeah, and it's cheaper to the people, we have to our employees, because their screening is free instead of now having to be out of pocket.
Absolutely. We're encouraging people to get their screenings, their diabetes, obesities, because if you catch something early.
$15,000 overall increase after everything's taken up.
What do you think about that plan?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, it'll help the employees. The deductibles are all the same.
Yes, everything's the same.
That doesn't change. The benefit is to the employees that at the end of the day, a lot of the screening processes, they will not have to pay.
The only thing changes is the ER copay.
It probably goes from 90 to 100.
90 to 100, so it's just $10. That's the only difference there.
No, but that's the only thing that changes. And it's only $10, not thousands of
Yes,
dollars.
sir.
So on this one, there's no catch to it. I mean, as to, the deductible, it'll always stay at that amount.
The deductibles are the same
Yes.
as we have in the grandfather.
Correct.
And basically, looking at what the total cost would be, about $15,000.
So you have a wellness incentive in place where if employees get their well physical, Juanita, can you help me? What else do they need to do? Physical?
And the stepping challenge.
And the stepping challenge. And if they meet those requirements, they get 2 days PTO. Okay? If you do go to a non-grandfather, that's even more incentive for people to go get their wellness checks done, because it's not going to cost them anything. It's covered at 100%.
That's for getting screenings and such.
Yes, sir. That can include, there's some prescriptions that are actually, under the non-grandfather plans, there's no copay. They have to be covered 100%. So depending on the prescriptions that people get, it could be, like contraceptives. There's a list of whatever prescriptions that fall under preventive services. There will be no copay for those prescriptions. So, and all this is dictated by the federal government and what they deem is considered preventive services.
If you would go from the current plan, not to the renewal rates, but to the alternate plan one, the one that you're bringing up, it'd be about $321,841 difference between what we're in and alternate one, which is about an increase of about 14,000 and change compared to the renewal rates. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not, when you're looking at the overall
Are
picture.
you okay with that, Brian? What if I make a motion for that?
Well, let's go over dependent care first before we go.
I would tell them.
Oh,
We would like to explore dependent care first before we make a motion.
You want to talk?
Sure, we can do that.
That's, I think, the dependent pilot program that we.
The dependent pilot program is the 1400 NG, that one, RG, at the 15%.
Kind of, yes.
Working?
There we go.
I would say I'd help you, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
There's Carlos. That's pretty solid.
That's this one. But I can grab this one. That's it. You want to try that one? Go ahead. All right, man, first, Judge, I want to comment. You know this stuff backwards and forwards. That's really good. It's impressive. I am.
I'm scared.
I'm
I
impressed.
can tell you that I'm extremely scared.
Are you?
Yeah.
I got nothing. No, there's no screen that we got on here. So we'll just have to go with the pamphlets that are in front of you. What's been communicated over the last few years is the court wanted to find a way to find dependent care affordable for its current employees. So that's, Texas Association of Counties has heard that. Who's controlling it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Texas Association of Counties has heard that, and what they put together is a dependent pilot program. And what they're going to do is they're going to match the counties dollar for dollar up to 15% to contribute to help offset the dependent care. So for every dollar that the county would kick in, they would take $2 off, as long as it's applied to the dependent care. So those are the options that we're going to go forward. We wanted to go over our current plan and our renewal rates, and we know what that is. Our current plan is 2.5 spend. Our renewal rates, if we stay where we are, even if we go with the non-grandfather plan, it's going to be roughly 2.8. So those are our total costs. Our possible solutions for the dependent care, that's going to be the pilot program, and our options to employees to maintain that affordable health care plan if they want to do it. And the risk moving forward, if we lost the grandfather status, but you guys have already covered that, and it's only at $3.60. So that's not a big deal. But on page 2, you can see that our rate is going from $679 to $752 per employee. So that's where that 300, roughly 1,000 is going to increase. If you went to the, on page 5, okay, if you went to page 5, the renewal rate on that is, for the employee, is going to 647. So this is going to stay in line with last year's rates. This is without dependent care. So then that's where the majority of the people are, 264. But what you can see is, you're correct, Judge, the assumed county contribution is going to go up $155 in order to get employee care down to $77. As you can see that's about a $300 difference. That's where TAC contributed $150, and that's where the county is going to contribute $150 and apply it to the reduction in dependent care for the employees on dependents. Now the risk, you guys already talked about the risks on page go to page 14. You'll see where that deductible is going up. That deductible is going up to $2,000, and we're currently at $250. But with that $300,000 savings, what could happen is you could set up an HRA, which is just a picket. There are current administrators. Now that $300,000 could be used to pay for the spread in that deductible from $250 to $2,000. And as you can see, our county is not very good at our utilization rate on page 10. We only have about approximately 30% of our employees even hit that $250. Page 10. There we go. So we're paying for a very expensive plan, very great benefits. Only 30% of the people even hit that $250. So using estimates, we have a pretty good probability that if the county was to utilize that $300,000 savings, and based on these utilization rates, and stepped into the shoes to fill that deductible, that $750 spread up to $2,000, it would still come out positive. Now, That would be the benefit. And the risk, you guys are, the judge was right. The risk, you could have a bad year when you exceed that 300,000 and it goes into 400,000. But as we learned about about the loss ratio, well, what's going on this year? We've exceeded our claims. The average increase in tax pool is 6%, but ours is going up 10.7, almost 11%. So we're almost double the average. So it's not like you get a free ride. It's just insurance. They're just going to smooth it over a 3-year period, and then they're just going to charge it back to you.
What kind of procedures or visits is this $250 to $4,000 jump gonna cover, not covered?
Okay, it's the same healthcare plan.
Same thing.
It would cover everything. I mean, the same.
Go up.
Okay, now, and I know from that prior discussion you just had, there was a lot of concern about the 250 to the 2,000. The HRA, Zeta Pickett covers that, will cover that for 6,000. But I still get the uneasiness, and I still get it, and that 6,000 out of network, that was a big deal too, to me, when we saw that on page 14. And we got these documents a few days ago, so that came a lot to everyone's attention. We're somewhere in North Carolina, Idaho, Montana. We have an emergency. We don't know where to go. We end up at a standalone or an ER, and we find out that the doctors are out of network, even though the facility is in network. That's going to be a risk in that far right column, that 6,000. So the current plan you have now, somebody goes to a facility that's out of network, 500. Under the new program, it would be 6,000. And if we're only covering up to 2,000, that would be a 4,000 liability onto the employee. That's going to be your risk right there. Now, in order to still maintain this TAC match and keep your current plan, there is a solution on that. But that solution is TAC will still match dollar for dollar. You'll still keep your current plan, 250, no HRA. But that price tag on that comes in at 2.9 instead of 2.8. And I believe healthcare for the children, instead of $77, I think it raises it to 92. And I believe the first child is still free. I believe. If I can't get to my computer, but if I could, I'd be able to quote that.
So what plan is your recommendation to the court?
My recommendation to the court is I want to give you as much information that you need to make the best decision
I know, but
possible.
since
Voters
you're
have voted you into office.
familiar with the pros and cons to everything, what would you suggest?
I suggest if the goal was still dependent care, you choose a matching plan, whether it be the 1,400 or whether it be the 600 that you currently have. If you just want to stay status quo, as you currently are, and leave dependent care probably unapproachable, $500 a month, you would just continue with what you have, and I believe the commissioner, all of you decided that the non-grandfather plan is probably the way to go. So you would just stay with plan 600 non-grandfathered, and you would not do the match.
And this is gonna come out wrong too, but, for one, I mean, I think,
Page 7, please.
I was elected to, just my opinion, to take care of the money, and to provide a benefit for our employee. And again, this is what's probably gonna come out wrong. If we could also during that process, have a benefit for the dependents, that would be great. But it's not my job. Okay. Especially because there's so much unknown. Okay, and that's what scares me. To provide a $77 or $92 cost for an employee to add all their kids, it's awesome. It's great. But if we have, and this is what we tried to get to, is how many people actually have more than one dependent, or have more than one kid, and we couldn't really get to that because we sent out a survey and everything, and then you said ordinary HIPAA, everything else, there's all kinds of rules that prevent what we can do. But if I have more people join and add their kids, my rate goes from 640 something to 808.
It does.
And that's what scares me.
Mhm. Well,
And I can't predict that. I can't put numbers to that.
mhm.
And then you look at the other one, if I add my spouse and my kids for $400 and some odd dollars,
Mhm.
440 or 460, whatever that is, it's what people are paying for 2 and 3 kids right now, so why wouldn't I add my spouse? And we all know that I don't want the spouse. If I'm gonna insure, I'd rather insure the kids
Mhm.
than the spouse, because the spouse is just as sick as the employee.
Yeah,
And what helps us lower our rates is going
yeah,
to be.
I believe the actuaries, as good as they are, their thought process on that was like, if you have school-age children, your spouse is probably not old. And it's the older spouses they're getting the ding.
Again, spouse.
So, again, right, correct. But if you have, covered children age less than 26, then that spouse is probably, in better shape than a retired spouse. So that's why you're getting that price where it's more expensive to cover one spouse as it is to cover your whole family on that plan. But that solution that's not in there that was just discussed this morning was the Plan 600 NG with non-grandfather with the match. But that's a 2.9 spend instead of a 2.8 spend. So.
Again, it would be awesome to be able to cover, for somebody to cover their kids for $77 or 90 some odd dollars a month.
Mhm.
It would be great. The county did a heck of a job. Get an attaboy. But it could come back and bite the county because we have so many more people joining. And my premium goes again from 640 something to 808.
Mhm.
That's the number that I'm scared about.
Yeah.
And if we're only going to, you said a little while ago, we could put the money aside, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this for 3 or 4 years. Put the money aside in order to help cover the difference in deductible between whatever the old plan is, whichever 600 plan we pick, and the new one, and whatever that difference in deductible is. And we had 94 people in one of the sheets that we were handed. We had 94 people that met the lower deductible. And we had 30 people that met the higher deductible.
Mhm.
You know, when you put those numbers together, I can begin to eat that $300,000 savings up in a hurry, if I'm gonna cover the deductible, the difference in deductible. Right? And then.
Well, you have to take, yes, 1750 divided by
Yes.
300.
By 94.
Yeah.
Times 94, because that's what the paper says. And then we had 30 people that met the higher deductible.
Mhm.
So to cover either the 55 or the 2,000, because I can't figure that out. That could be 150,000 or 175,000 to 120,000 out of that 300,000. So I mean, I just whittled away 200 and some odd thousand, $270,000 out of the 300. Right? It just depends. So I'm not really saving that much. And then I get to where now I've got 20 more people that joined, that brought their kids in, that my difference went up, $155 per month for 20 more people. Then I just paid everything that, you know, the unknown is what's scary.
Yeah, so.
Just the unknown.
So it sounds like you guys are on the plan, but what you're unsure of is the match, to get $2 worth of reduction in childcare for $1. I mean, that's the debate, right?
Well, and I'm just speaking for myself. What scares me is there's a lot of unknown with this plan. The plan that Commissioner Garcia just brought up, I know what that's gonna cost.
Right, because
I put that number in.
Yeah.
It's set.
The
And I
costs
use
are
a higher
fixed.
number of employees.
Yeah, the costs are fixed per employee and it is what it
And the
is.
deductible is what it is.
And that was the 600 NG, Judge? Is
The
that
one that
correct?
says non-grandfathered.
Yeah. So originally, when you set out on this adventure, what it was what could you get for 2.8? So that's how we started down this adventure, looking into the HRAs and showing what more resources we could get out of 2.8 as opposed to just going with what we got for 2.8. So that's all this was an exercise in what you could get for $2.8 million in healthcare, along with trying to bring in the dependents.
And
So
we're
that's
gonna
what it
be at
was.
3.1.
3.1.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
By the way, we're going.
3.1.
So, there was that match on the 600 non-grandfather plan that, looks like it's gonna be a go, and that's an additional $100,000 spent. So, that's your choice.
We go from about 307 more to 321,000. There's about a $15,000 difference between where it says renewal rate 600 and alternate one 600 NG.
Is that
Right.
About 15,000.
15,000?
Yeah, it's $3 and some odd cents different, per month per employee,
Oh.
331 employees.
So, can I make a
No,
motion?
I'm sorry on that. I was
At that
referring.
point?
Yeah, let it-
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Commissioner.
I was just gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
This is with the batch,
Mhm.
with the current plan. So 15% right there, those are the numbers.
So that's where we get to the 2.9 spend. Okay, Commissioner.
So what's the difference in price? Did you have an idea?
Between which ones, Commissioner?
The 600 and the 600 NG.
The $15,000.
Yeah.
Correct.
The overall price. It's $3.60 times 12 times 300 some odd employees.
Okay, then I'll make a motion. If we're done with the discussion, if you still want to talk more, I'll wait.
Okay. No, it sounds like we're not interested in the match program. Okay, no, just so we're clear.
I
Okay.
think it complicates things. I talked to several department heads, I even talked to deputy, I talked to certain people, and, it sounded a whole lot more complicated to them, and they were worried about the match, you know? Who was administrating that, and how much and when, and,
Yeah.
you know, and up to the 2,000, but then from 2,000 to 4,000, it's out of their pocket. You
Right,
know, so there's a lot of unknown in that plan.
right. So I get that. So, but we just scratched that one off. That's the 1,400 match. That's gone. Now it's just between, Plan 600 NG, that you pretty much decide on with 360 more, and then Plan 600 NG with the dependent care match. Seems like that's what the debate is right now. So, and that NG match is gonna come in at 2.9. Your NG, Plan 600 is just gonna be at 2.8 plus the 15,000. That was just calculated for the 360. That's the decision now between those two.
So again, the only thing, the difference between the 600 and the 600 NG, it's non-grandfathered. A lot of the services that were not covered in the grandfathered, plan, preventive services would be covered now under the non-grandfathered plan.
They'll be covered, but they're covered at 100% versus cost sharing.
Yeah,
The current.
yeah. So it's a better plan?
It is a better plan.
And we're only paying $15,000 more for it. Depending on the amount of employees.
Yes, sir.
But
But we definitely want to highly encourage the court to encourage employees to go get their preventative services done, because it doesn't cost them anything, okay? And like I said, HR is doing a good job, but, as the auditor mentioned, you have a certain percentage of people who are actually using the health plan, okay? About 30 to under 30% that are actually using the plan. So if we can get those 30% more active and changing a healthy lifestyle, we can see high-cost claims start coming down. That's our goal. Doesn't matter what plan you are on, the claims are the claims, they're still there. It's how we change how they're using the health insurance. Live a better lifestyle.
And again, in the future, we'll bring something back to the court. Like I said earlier, my concern is also that we get a better job of insurance on people that are no longer here. And our claims would not be as high. Especially when you look at the report. There's no names in the report, just to be clear, and we know that they're retired and we're spending a lot of money.
There's a handful of retirees on your high-cost plan report. The number 2 one is a retiree. Yes, sir.
And about 30 to 40% of the high-cost plans are related to diabetes?
Yes, so there's a
Now you're
diabetes.
throwing
I have
rocks.
heard.
I take my pills, take my shot.
But
And I eat everything.
if anyone has been in a training with Mark Zolich, a wellness consultant, he'll tell you, a lot of these conditions are brought on through lifestyle. It is. And a lot of times with help with medication and lifestyle changes, we can reverse diabetes. I'm a very good, case in that. I reversed my diabetes. I was pre-diabetic. I didn't take any medication. I changed my lifestyle. And it didn't take much. Just a little bit of change helped me reverse my pre-diabetes. And along with the help of the programs that y'all have available, that the employees have available to, that program I was able to use through TAC, helped me reverse my diabetes.
And a lot of that, I mean, I completely agree with that. I can tell you that I don't eat any type of potatoes, but everything you eat potatoes all day long.
But we're not here to tell people what to do. We're here to bring awareness. Ultimately, it's the employee's choice, but the employees do have some, skin in the game on whether those, claims are gonna go up or not, depending on their lifestyle. That's what it is.
Thank y'all both. Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
so much. Man, I appreciate it. Commissioner Garcia.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go with alternate plan 1, plan 600 NG.
I will second that.
We have a motion, Commissioner Garcia. Second, Commissioner Vasquez. Any other questions? And we are on item 35. And give me authority to sign.
And give you authority to sign.
Appreciate it. A motion, Commissioner Garcia, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all so much. Not only to the court, but also to those presenters. Item 25, discussion policy. I want to take a recess, go to the restroom.
We're good.
Item 25, discussion possible action select and award a contract to the highest scored offer of proposal for RFP 2570 gun range facility and authorize county judge to sign the contract upon review by the county attorney. Melissa. It's in your packet. Who scored the highest?
I didn't get that in my packet. Oh, yeah, that's the one you gave me, Ms. Lewis?
No, this is in your packet. Yes, it's item number
Yeah, I didn't get
25.
no number 25.
They should have added it to your,
I read it.
did you get one?
Y'all get one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now, I didn't get this one. I don't want. Just give me a copy.
Okay, so the committee went through the evaluations and JP Sanchez Construction was the highest scored.
I'll make a motion to approve. Ms. Melissa?
A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second,
I'll second that.
Commissioner Flores. Just for transparency, he was the highest score. How come you look at me? He was the highest score, but he was not the lowest bidder. But there was a scoring process put in place. Criteria was approved by the county, commissioner's court. And that's the scoring, procedure that we.
And that's like a good contractor, and that's what it's based on?
There was all kinds, there was,
There's criteria.
percentage
and
put on price, scoring criteria put on price, put on experience, different jobs that they had done, and time of completion, you name it.
That's awesome.
All right. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez and Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 26, discussion possible action to select and award to the highest scored offer of proposals for RFP 2576 adult probation. Before y'all make a motion, let me finish. Authorize the county judge to sign the contract upon review by the county attorney. This one here, there was an individual, bottom line is, we have to go through the process of negotiating with these individuals because there is not enough money, there's not enough money to complete this task. What the law requires, and you correct me at any point, is that if y'all will give us the authority to negotiate with whoever scored the highest, second highest, and third highest, and go through that process. If that does not work, and we cannot get to a price that the court that has already been set aside, then we will need to go back out for rebid. So that would be part of the motions to give us authority to negotiate. If that's not possible, to go back out for rebid.
I will make a motion, Judge, to give you the authority to negotiate between you and Melissa for this contract.
I'll second that for discussion. So they all comply with bonds except,
Except just contracting. Yes.
But the other ones comply with everything else
Mhm.
that
The other
we
ones-
require.
Right. They weren't the lowest proposals turned in, number 2 and 3, but going through the process, DLP construction would be our first one that we would start,
Trying
visit
to
with.
negotiate a price.
Yes.
Okay. A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 27, discussion possible act to rescind Court Order 25-364, authorizing the use of insurance funds to replace the roof at the Family Violence Center for $17,450. Contractor has been non-responsive in providing us for insurance. Item 28 is authority to go back up, to do something else, but we just need to send the first court order.
I will make a motion to rescind the first order, Judge, and, number 28, go ahead and approve the, as presented.
Second.
Part of the order, you get that? We'll go ahead and do, or you want to do separate, would it be cleaner for you?
Yeah, it'd be clear for me.
If we can do,
27 first?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion, Judge, on item number 27 to rescind, court order.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 28, discussion possible action on authorizing use of
Make a
insurance.
motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 29, discussion possible action to approve the renewal agreement.
Motion to approve on items as presented, Judge.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez,
I'll second.
second Commissioner Wardlaw, any discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 30, discussion possible
Make a
action.
motion to approve, Judge, item number 30.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 31, discussion possible action to approve the purchase of a new Kawasaki FX 850 zero-turn mower.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 32, discussion possible action on authorizing the use of insurance funds to purchase the remaining.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
Commissioner Flores gave the motion. Commissioner Garcia gave the second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 33, discussion possible action to approve the adding on account for electricity service for.
Motion to approve, Judge.
On the motion, Commissioner Flores, second.
Second.
Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 34, discussion possible.
Motion to approve as presented, Judge.
On motion, Commissioner Flores, second.
Motion to approve,
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. That's an amazing job. Discussion and approval of comp time, 36.
What's the deal here?
Yeah. Juanita. What's the deal? I got stiff.
Got a busted knee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That's fine.
part of the insurance issue. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We have been discussing the issue with the contact. Currently, we have departments, and we do have a policy in our policy manual regarding that. We have some departments that have allowed some of their content to go beyond 400 hours, not knowing what employees are doing or why they're staying late at work. Once we reach the maximum of our comp time, which is at, where is it? When an employee has reached the maximum accrual of comp time, any additional overtime work shall be compensated at the rate of time and a half. So once that happens, we have to start giving employees time and a half comp time hours. A lot of departments that call my office are inquiring regarding why did it get to be so much? How is it monitored? It is our responsibility as department heads and elected officials to authorize that comp time.
Do you have a list of those employees?
We have reports. We can run reports. We usually give them to the departments when they ask for them. A lot of departments require, like, how do I control it? I've got an employee that's going to go on vacation, and then she comes back or he comes back. They want to stay late the next week to make up for the work. Well, you should have made arrangements to do the work before authorizing comp time after.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just the standard.
Just
At
bad
the end of the
management.
day, the elected official or department head needs to do a heck of a lot better job managing their own
There
staff.
you go,
Exactly.
there you go.
Supervisor.
That management.
A lot of times people don't realize, I've got a department that called, their employee is coming in at 7:30 in the morning. That employee is in essence already working for the county. If they're coming in at 7:30 or they're staying for lunch, I'm gonna take my lunch at work. The minute you answer that phone, you're working for the county. So you need to be compensated for that. And then it gets to a point where now my employee has 30 hours of comp time on top of 50 hours of vacation. And what do? Well, it's your responsibility to control that. Why are you allowing that? What's going on in your department that you're having to accumulate all this comp time?
If you don't mind, and it wouldn't be a violation, or if it is, stop it. Get a list, and get it to the commissioners. That way they have a better idea of what we're talking about.
Okay,
And then we'll begin to visit with the department heads and elected officials. I know that everybody's a king or king in their own kingdom. But at the end of the day, they put us in a, Matt, sick and you.
No, you guys control that.
Well, and what I was fixing to get at is that we need to quit paying for it. We need to quit, people expect the court, once they go over also, that how the hell they're gonna write a check. We need to quit writing checks. The court needs to put their foot down. You're one of them.
and
And quit writing checks.
one of the things that the court can do, even as department heads, if an employee wants to take sick leave or vacation, have them use their comp time first. Have them take the comp time off. You don't necessarily have to use your sick leave. You don't necessarily have to use your vacation.
So it's legal, I
Take your
mean,
comp time.
That right there will
First.
solve a lot of problems.
Exactly.
They will
Because a
find
lot of
ways to work their
times-
schedule to get to their vacation.
Because a lot of times we learn to bank it, and then I'll come and say I'm leaving, and you know you're gonna get paid. And we have to pay comp time. So it's better to use it throughout the year and dwindle it out versus having that on the books.
So, do we need to make a motion to get letters out to department heads and get this?
She has sent stuff out. I wanted her to put something on the agenda. That way our elected officials and department heads, as they're watching this, understand that the court's aware now. And, we need to put something on the agenda later on that we're not gonna pay anymore. We paid her almost every year that I've been here. The court needs to quit paying. And then they won't be booking it.
Exactly.
They won't expect it. But the department heads and elected officials need to do a better job. And at some point, if you'll get us a list, and if we need to go down the list, put an item on the agenda, and spend a little bit of time, go down the list, and with each department head or whatever, in open court, then that's what we do.
Okay.
Okay? Are y'all okay with that?
Okay.
Judge, here comes the problem, or the issue. Since vacation payout is no longer happening, and if they build comp time, and then you, of course, force them to use comp time instead of vacation time, at the end of the year, vacation expires and goes away.
Sure, right?
So then they're working past their 37.5, 40 hours,
Oh, yeah.
and they're basically not allowed vacation time because they're using their comp time as vacation time.
And on that, right now I'm working on a report to send out to everybody like I do every year, telling the department that between July and December, this is what your employee has on the books as far as vacation. So come December 31, they're gonna lose these hours, so make arrangements. I mean, you've got
That's what, yeah.
7 months to take the time off. That is very, very simple.
Time management.
Exactly. I mean, I tell, there's departments that come in and say, I've got 8 employees. Plan it at the beginning of the year. When are you going, I want January, I want July, I want August. But you've got a plan in place that you've already addressed your vacation. It's real simple to do.
yes,
And if they need help, they can always contact you, right?
Yes. Every day, I hear it, I'm there.
At 7:30, and you take your lunch at work.
You do look at the cameras.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Any other discussion on that one? If not, we'll move on to item 37. Discussion, and item 37, discussion approval of HR report.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Judge,
there is one change.
Okay, the change.
On item I, under Commissioner, Kerr Wardlaw, it should state, item I says, Fermin Vasquez, maintenance worker / carpenter. And the starting salary, which is in the budget, is, instead of the 28,544.41, is $30,377.10. $30,377.10.
Yes, sir.
So that is the only change.
Motion to approve and include changes to item I from 28,000 to 30,000.
A motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anybody against, motion carries 5-0. Item 38, approving bills for payment.
Move. Do we have anything there, Matt?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of bills.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is everything good.
Yeah, best of my knowledge, everything is good. It's all right. Come on.
Yeah. I have a motion,
Yeah, we're
Commissioner
good.
Flores. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against, motion carries 5. Item 39, discussion possible action to approve the audit.
Motion to deny. No, I'm just- Motion to approve.
Commissioner Flores, do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anybody against? Oh, my God. Item 40, discussion possible action on the following budget adjustments. A, $3,898.24 to information technology capital from a capital line item.
Motion to approve.
A motion, Commissioner Flores, second. Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye, anybody against? Motion carries 5. B, $10,400 to 63rd.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. C, $6,649, Sheriff's Department.
Where are we getting this money from? I mean,
Joe Franklin is from labor appropriations to operating supplies.
There's a doctor,
excuse me?
there's a doctors and medications account. in his
Okay, so we
department.
do have some,
Yeah,
not
he's
important.
he's got head of the department.
Yes, sir.
From, doctors and the,
Yes, sir.
have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second.
Yeah, second.
Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 41, discussion possible action to the monthly department fee reports and, audit and filing department.
There's a couple back there, there's no findings.
Okay. So it's all good?
So,
On the motion,
Make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner Vasquez, second. Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 42, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, B 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses A, contemplated litigation, C 551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, possible action or concession thereafter. D 551.073, regarding the negotiated contract, lease, or value of real property, possible actions or concession thereafter. E 551.076, regarding security, device security audits and or security, whatever. If y'all will give us the room, take a 4 or 5 minute break to go to the restroom or whatever, and then we'll come back and. Thank you so much.
Does John have to strike that off of there?
Yeah,
We go.
She's already over here in the office ready to sign.
It'll just take like 1 minute, so.
I'll meet you.
Yeah.
Over there.
Okay, lights on. Commissioners Court, it's 11:27. We come back from executive session. No action was taken. That's what I'm supposed to say. No action was taken. We tabled one item, which was item 13, discussion possible action of Valverde County to enter into a temporary construction easement and grant authority to the county judge to sign. This easement will run from south side of Echo Cliffs, where the street intersects Gilcrest Lane, then proceeds up Gilcrest Lane to the city limits of Del Rio. This temporary easement is necessary to facilitate the upcoming road project that is occurring on Rose Avenue, which runs parallel to Gilcrest Lane. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I will second that, Judge.
Part of the motion is give me authority to sign, and as soon as, council gets done with the document, we'll use the document.
Your motion, sir?
My motion.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second Commissioner Vasquez.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion carries, 5-0. Item 43, Commissioners' comments.
I just want to wish everybody, the public, Judge, a happy 4th of July weekend.
Pops and fireworks. Pops and fireworks. But no sticks and fence, right? We already did that. Okay. 44, County Judge's comments. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and thank Matt and Ernesto for the presentations that they did also.
Great job.
For the hard work that they've done.
Really
Thank y'all. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, item 45. A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second.
Second.
Commissioner Garcia, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank y'all. Have a good board.